It's Jay Briggs here, man. Here with my NFL live jam session, man, in the afternoon, man. So y'all know I have this show now every day in the during the weekend. During the weekdays. I do this show, man, and on Mondays we're gonna just kind of look back and recap what we learned on Sunday. So that's what today's episode is. Tomorrow, I'll bring in three of the guys from Pig Dogs, man. We're going to look ahead at the schedule for week 2. Wednesday, we do the NFL show with me, Mitch, and Big Al. Thursday, similar to Tuesday, I'm going to bring in three more guys as we are starting to really ramp up for week 2. Friday, NFL show, me, Mitch, and Kyle Kerms with the Prop Beaver and the Sauce Network. And then Saturday, college football show. And then Sunday, game time. So that's usually how we do it here, man. And I'm just going to take a look at, again, what I learned yesterday, how I could be better, and things of that nature. So the guys from
It's with the Legion of Boom Dot.
Let's look at this.
Arizona State.
So we opened things up on Thursday, man. We had the Lions and the Chiefs. We had the Lions plus the points. And now when that game was pretty much how we thought it would go, the Lions offense would show up. The Chiefs would look a little lost without Travis Kelce, but it's obvious when they get Travis Kelce and Chris Jones back, they're still going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. And I just think we learned that the Lions are going to be a serious team this year, a team we can A, make money on like we did down the stretch last year, and B, they're going to push for that division with Minnesota and Green Bay. I think that division is up in the air. So if the Lions can continue to have that same aggressiveness, if their defense can fly around the field, kind of like it did, and that offense can continue to put points on the board when they need to, keep their defense off the field, then I think the Lions are going to be a team we can make money on. So that was one thing that is interesting to watch. Number 2, let's go to Sunday. We had the Ravens and the Texans. Double-digit dogs usually are profitable, especially week 1. That was not the case for the Texans. I told y'all I did believe that the Ravens were the best team. I just wasn't comfortable laying points with them in that game. I could see them coming out struggling a bit, and laying double digits week 1 just wasn't somewhere I really felt comfortable. And I think we saw a lot of those things, man. They didn't click necessarily how many people think they should against arguably the worst team in the league. But when it was all said and done, we did see the Ravens win and cover. CJ Stroud is going to have to improve, man. He kind of struggled in that game. We thought he would. Doesn't quite have the receivers in Houston that he did at Ohio State, and the level of competition has risen. So interested to see if they can get it together. I thought DeMeco Ryans in his coaching debut was solid. Tough debut going up against the Ravens, but I think we'll see the Texans still be one of the worst teams in the league, but there might be certain spots where we can make money betting that team. So something to watch out for. And the Ravens could be, and like I said, probably will be, a serious contender in the AFC this season if health isn't a question. Browns Bengals, man. Joe Burrow looked terrible. But I mean, I called that, man. I called that. So the Browns have beaten up on Joe Burrow his whole career since he's been a Bengal. It's been a tough going for Cincinnati to go beat the Browns. Joe Burrow was limited in training camp and preseason this year with an injury. I know he's the highest paid quarterback. I love Joe Burrow just like we all do. I think he's the second best quarterback in the league currently. I just think it might take them a week or two, and that's exactly what we saw last year. They lost week 1 and week 2 and then went on a rampage. We know we covered a ton with the Bengals down the stretch last year. I do think that'll be the case this year. They just got to get their feet up underneath them. It's going to be an explosive team, as always. Just need to get their feet up under them. I think they'll be fine. I still have the Bengals going to the Super Bowl. But I did pick against them this week. I thought it was going to be tough to start off the season with that same intensity. The Browns, they needed to start the year off with that intensity. They got to prove all the doubters wrong. Deshaun Watson did that. Had an ugly pick, but other than that, was a solid game, and I think they can build on that. And I think the Browns have a legitimate chance to have one of their best seasons in recent memory. The Vikings was really disappointing, man. Losing outright at home. Man, I was pumping up Minnesota all season. I thought they were a lock to win their division this year. Doesn't seem to be the case, man. Maybe Tampa's better than I gave them credit for. Baker Mayfield, decent game. Not exciting, decent game. Got it done. Road win, week 1. That's what you're looking for, Baker, man. In an open division in the NFC South, the Bucs are not out of it. Still got some good weapons on the outside. Solid defense, as we've seen them only hold an explosive Minnesota Vikings offense to 17. And if the offense for the Bucs can do enough, then they can be competitive in a wide open NFC South. The Vikings, we'll see what's up with them, man. I'm not selling my stock. This is the exact Minnesota Vikings that we thought they were, a middle-of-the-pack team that is good at home and plays a lot of tough games, close games. And last year, they won almost all of those close, tight games. They did not win this one. We'll see if they can bounce back moving forward. I still would say that they're one of the best in their division, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. I want to see Kirk Cousins and the crew bounce back, Justin Jefferson. So, dropped a little stock on Minnesota here in this week. The Tampa Bay stock rose for me a little bit. Next up, the Titans and the Saints. I mean, that game was exactly how we thought it was going to be. Extremely close, a lot of running the football, and the Saints probably win it in the end at home. That game was exactly how you thought. Derrick Henry makes a few big plays. They try to incorporate D-Hop, and the Saints got it done in the Superdome. The Titans cover the point spread like they always do. That game is exactly what we thought. And those two teams I'm expecting to be pretty much what I thought moving forward. Falcons, Panthers. All right. Bryce Young threw a pick early, came back through a touchdown, was in the game at half. Falcons took off. Falcons got some weapons between Algier, Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. They got some weapons down there. Desmond Ridder looked decent. The defense, I thought, was the thing for Atlanta that stood off the page for me. They played better than I gave them credit for, and I think they're better than many people might think they are. Atlanta can push the Saints, and who else? The Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers. Who else? There's one more team in that division. I just can't think off the top of my head. It is who's the last team in that division? Man, I just drew a blank right there. Bucks. That's who it is. Like I said a minute ago, it's a wide open division, man. Great week 1 win for the Falcons at the crib. I want to see a little more with this team. I want to see this team improve. I want to see what the arc for this team is. They got a young quarterback in Ridder who was really good at Cincinnati. We'll see if it translates into the NFL. Solid week 1 win. Panthers, you got your guy in Bryce Young. Now you just got to build up your franchise, man. That's really all it is. Let them get some in-game experience. I think the Panthers probably a few years away, but I think we'll see some flashes this year. Panthers probably not going to be as good as I thought. Atlanta, team to watch out for. They got a lot of weapons in the defense. Underrated. Jags, Colts. Jags could be the number 1 seed in the AFC this year, just based off of how bad their division is, and they're probably going to run the table there, and I don't think their schedule is all that difficult, is what I'm saying. That we finally seen the streak of the home team winning in this series finally come to an end. The Jags ended that winning there. Tough game. Was the game we expected. The Colts didn't just lay down for them, but the Jags, the better team, got it done in the end. The better quarterback. I think the Jags, like again, have a legitimate chance to be the number one seed in the AFC. Do I think they're the best team in the AFC? No. But due to their division, due to scheduling reasons, I do think things can break the right way for them. And when you got a quarterback like Trevor Lawrence, a head coach like Doug Peterson, who has experience taking teams through the postseason, man, you never know. Keep your eye on this Jacksonville Jaguars team, and I absolutely love the addition of Calvin Ridley. I think he's poised for a big year, 1,200, 1,300-yard season, loading probably for Calvin Ridley. The Colts, y'all gotta get AR some help. He wasn't as bad as many thought, but he wasn't really good either. There were some flashes of like, okay, I see the athleticism, but athleticism isn't going to win you football games. And he took a couple of big hits. And we saw what Trevor Lawrence told him after the game, man. This is not college. And, those hits do add up. Protect yourself, man. Get in that pocket. You're going to have to throw the ball more than you did at Florida. We'll see if he can do that moving forward. Didn't finish the game, so something to watch there with the Colts. Niners, Steelers. This was a head scratcher for me. I expected the Steelers to win this game, quite honestly, at home. That was not the case, man. I thought the Niners might have taken a step back. They have not. They might even be slightly better than they were a year ago. Brock Purdy, he's him. He's pretty good. I hated on him a lot last year. I thought maybe it was just a few flashes of luck. Nah, this guy's legitimately good. And he has a great team around him and the Niners. And they dominated that football game versus the Steelers. The Steelers couldn't really move the football game. The running game is pretty much non-existent. Kenny Pickett does look a little bigger. He does look more mature, but it didn't really translate onto the field. That defense got picked apart more so than I thought many people looked. Brandon Ayuk kind of looked like prime Dez Bryant. He had a huge game. And I think the Niners are going to be scary again, man. And I hated to see that because I think my Cowboys are really, really good this year. But those Niners just have our number as they put us out the playoffs in back-to-back years. And they look good again this year, man. They look really good. I would say this was the second most impressive win of the weekend, in my opinion, the 49ers, and how they dominated the Steelers. I did not see that one coming. I got that one wrong. The Commanders, Cardinals are still my worst team in the league. The Commanders got out of there with a dub. Kind of like I said in the video, I wouldn't lay points with the Commanders, man. That you're asking for it. Are they the better team? Yeah. Are they 7 points better than the Commanders? Than the Cardinals? I don't know. That's not somewhere I really want to be. I do have the Cardinals the worst team. I think the Commanders will be just fine. They're going to be a scrappy group. They're going to be in a lot of games. And when they do win, a lot of those wins are going to look like this one. Look, they're not pretty. They're not they don't have just a ton of household name guys everywhere, but they're going to beat you up. They're going to be in the trenches, and a lot of games are going to be ugly, and they're going to hope to be on the winning side in the end. They were this week. Failed to cover. Got the win. Commanders. Raiders, Broncos. Sean Payton and Russell, overrated ass Wilson. Back at it again. Raiders, severely underrated. Jimmy Garoppolo and crew. I think as the season progresses, man, they're going to gel more, and they're going to start to look better. They came back and won that football game. Raiders, I think, are a team to watch out for with that defensive line. And I think that the Broncos are in some deep doo-doo. I do. I think that Russell Wilson is the problem. I don't think it's any coach can really save him. And we'll see. They have some tough decisions to make up there in Denver. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me, man. I'm just recapping what I saw on Sunday. Just going through, breaking it down, just taking y'all through my thoughts. I'm going to do this on Monday. The shows moving forward throughout the year will be a little better. I was kind of ill-prepared today. It happens. It's a long weekend, a lot to prepare for. But, hey, it is what it is. Again, kind of just going back, looking at what we saw over the weekend. Moving right along. Hold on. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. I don't know. It's going to be. Let's see. It says lagging. Well, let me go ahead and finish, and then I'll try to fix it after or when it's all said and done. What else did we learn this weekend? Let me pull my schedule back up. Sorry, I was looking at the comments. All right, man. So, and then I'll give y'all a free play for this for tonight's game. I don't know why it's lagging. I'm gonna try to fix that moving forward, guys. I apologize about that, but moving right along with what we saw this weekend. Jordan Love. Let's go to Jordan Love. Jordan Love looks good. I doubted him. I doubted Matt LaFleur, and they beat up on the Bears. Am I going to overanalyze and say that the Packers are back or anything like that? No. But I'll eat some crow and say, hey, Jordan Love did look good in that game. And maybe the Packers are much better than I thought. The defense looked for real. Justin Fields had a few ugly plays. The Bears' weapons didn't make quite the impact I thought, and the Bears' defense looked pretty civ. I'm interested to see what those Packers look like this week against Atlanta. I think the Packers and Atlanta are two interesting, very interesting teams who face off this week. I think we'll learn a lot about both after this game. Two young quarterbacks, two coaches who are not thought of as those top tier guys, but kind of on that cuff of really smart guys who the league likes. I want to see how this game plays out this weekend with Green Bay before I jump the gun and anoint Jordan Love. But I will say, really, really good game from him. Justin Fields, a lot of people thought you might have an MVP year. Game one was not that. You had a chance to knock off your division rival for the first time at home outside of the Aaron Rodgers era, and it was not pretty. Bears dropped a lot of stock in my mind. Green Bay earned some serious respect, rose up a little bit in my stock. Seattle Seahawks. I tried to warn y'all, man. Geno Smith, man, he is not the guy that many people think he is. He is still that bottom tier quarterback in my opinion, and we saw him get outclassed here by Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is legitimate, damn near still top 10 quarterback. He was out there with who knows who at wide receiver and got it done on the road in one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. Seattle, man. That was a great game and great play calling by Coach McVay. And I think the Rams are going to be a viable team this year, probably 9-8. It depends on health. And the Seahawks, man, they're going to be right in that same thing. And it's not because of their roster. I like Seattle's roster a lot. I have serious questions about Geno Smith, who's only had one great season. Had a chance to beat a pretty bad team yesterday in the Rams. Couldn't do it. Got thrashed at home. Got to watch out for them Seahawks moving forward. And last but certainly not least, man, we know what happened last night in the Meadowlands. Them Giants got their ass kicked by the Cowboys, man. I think that was the most impressive win for me of the weekend. A 40-0 shutout on the road. On the road? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That defense is legitimate. Offense has some things to work on. They do, but did what they had to do. Did what they needed to do. I tried to warn y'all, man. I think the Cowboys are poised for a really, really big season. I think they are a top 3 team in the NFC. It's still between the same 3 teams it was last year. San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas. I think San Francisco might be slightly better than it was last year. I think Dallas is 2 times better than they were last year. And I think Philly might have taken a step back. So we'll see. I think all these teams play each other this year. We'll see it on the field. And we'll see who comes out of the NFC this year. But those were just my thoughts. Also, Daniel Jones, I've been screaming from the mountaintops, overrated. This is a guy who's like 1-11 in nighttime games. I understand why the Giants paid him. They could have gotten anything better than him. They got fooled because he beat Kirk Cousins in a playoff game. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on Daniel Jones. I'm happy that the Giants did that because now we get to just have free dubs every time we play the Giants. And I think they're going to have a rough season. I do. I think they're going to be last in the division. I even think the Commanders are going to be better than the Giants. I think Brian Daboll is severely overrated. I know they were a cover machine last year. I don't think that's going to be the case this year. I think we're going to make a lot of money fading the Giants. Not trying to overreact, man. These are my thoughts before the game yesterday. And that just confirmed everything that I thought. That game confirmed everything that I thought. The Dallas was for real. The defense was legitimate. The offense, we're going to have to build upon that as the year moves on. But the Giants are terrible. Their quarterback is not good. Their running back was not in the building all off season. And it's a lot of smoke and mirrors up there in New York. So I don't even know how people thought that Daniel Jones would finally beat Dak Prescott. Now 0-7, and Dak Prescott now 11-0 versus the Giants, man. It's kind of crazy. Those are just my thoughts over the weekend, man. My thoughts on tonight's game. There's no way in hell I would fade the Jets in New York on 9/11. I think the Jets are the better team. I think they have the better quarterback. I think Aaron Rodgers is better than Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is going to put his team in harm's way probably with a late turnover. I think this Jets defense is serious. I think the Bills defense did get a lot of pieces back, but I have questions about it. I think the Jets will be able to run the football, control the clock. I think the Jets probably win it in the end. So that's just my thoughts on that, man. I'm going to try to fix this stream. I'm trying to make it better as we move forward. I appreciate everybody who's in here, though. If you're in here, you rocking with me, and I appreciate y'all. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow on the morning show with Mitch and Chris. That's when I see y'all again. So let's make some money tonight. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. My premium plays are over at Pick Dogs Premium. Tomorrow, I'll be back 3 o'clock with this live show, and I'll have 3 guests coming on with me. So be on the lookout.